From the Jack and Jones Shredder Studio in beautiful CCM at the University of Cincinnati, it's the Dennis Daniels Show! Tonight's guest, voice actor and podcast host Kyle Hebert. And now, here is your host. He is the 2009 Bearcast Innovator of the Year, Boogaloo Shrimp, Dennis Daniels! Gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are tuned in to possibly the greatest talk show of 1995. But it's 2010. Does this guy know what time it's at? That's right, folks. You are tuned in to none other than the Dennis Daniels Show. I am your host. I am the DJ Kage in the village, hidden in the music, and the innovator of 2009 for BearcastRadio.com, Dennis Daniel. All right, hold the applause. Hold it. You know, we don't know why LeBron James is leaving Cleveland to go to Miami. It's pretty kooky, but we can't figure it out. You know, we have scientists looking at this and figuring out, hey, why is that LeBron James going to Miami? I don't know, but, you know, we have them working around the clock, and we're not paying them either. Ladies and gentlemen, seashells by the seashore. Unless she's got a claim against BP. Whoa, controversy. Oh, gosh, folks, I am excited. Oh, man, we have just been cranking out guest after guest on the Dennis Daniels Show here. Last time on the show, we had none other than returning guest, Little Karibo, Martin Billany, the guy who made the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. And last time, we had the official contract signing for the Duel to End the Rule between myself and Seto Kaiba. And some things were said, things were done. Third thing, but now I digress, because we have to get ready for the future. The present, the here and now, you know? Folks, tonight on the Dennis Daniels Show, we have got none other than voice actor and podcast host, Kyle Hebert. If you don't know Kyle Hebert, then where have you been for the last 4 or 5 years, you know? He's been there. I personally have seen him. He has been there, you know? And you probably best know him as the voice of Gohan teenage version, not teenage cell game version, teenage after cell game version on Dragon Ball Z, the narrator on the next Dragon Ball Z. I can't do it, so I told you all before I can't do this stuff because it's crazy. And one of my personal favorite characters, the great Sayiman! And I know the pose, and maybe I'll do it. I just might be crazy enough to do the pose. What do you think? You might also know him from the English dub of Naruto as my personal favorite ninja, Kiba Inuzuka. And I know we don't have the stream right now. The stream is acting all twonky on me here, and I cannot see it for the life of me because spy sapping my internets. Spy sapping my internets. That is a crazy line. But yeah, I am decked out in my Kiba Inuzuka outfit. You know, I have got the hood going on, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing, you know, because we've got all kinds of. Chris, I got this fur thing. I tell you, it's really hot. You know, it's 94 outside right now, and I'm sweating like a pig in the oven. And I got the headband. You got to have the official Headleaf Village headband if you're gonna look like a ninja. Do you know what? I'm going to probably just, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put the hood down at least because I am burning like a pig. Now, folks, if you don't know him still, you probably know him as Ganju from Bleach, age ago, Beetlebrows, Beetlebrows. I probably wouldn't call him Beetlebrows. I don't know. I might call him Beetlebrows, though. Don't hold me to that. And then you also know him as, and I call this guy the Bret Hart of anime, Kamina from Gurren Lagen. Because why do I call him Bret Hart? Because of the glasses, the attitude. He's got the Don't call me Kamina, call me bro. But again, I don't know much about Gurren Lagen. I haven't really watched it. All I know is that Kamina died 8 episodes into the show. 8 episodes? Why 8 episodes? You know, he was carrying the show, and then afterwards, who do you have? Yoko? Big boobs will only get you so far in the anime industry, my friends. And I tell you, it is just a bunch of malarkey going on back and forth. And I tell you, we are just getting ready, because we got to get right down to this, folks, because... Oh, and to get ready for the show, I got some things. I was looking around my room. I've got, right in my hand right now, I have got Broly Second Coming. Kyle played, of course, Gohan in the movie, and I thought it was a pretty good movie, you know. A lot of people say the Broly movies weren't pretty good, but, you know, we had Vic Mignogna on the show, and he did Broly, and I told him, first off, I don't think Broly was done by Vic Mignogna. I see the credit, and I hear a little bit of a similarity in it, but I'm not totally convinced. So that's that. I've also got an autographed Kiba Inuzuka trading card. Kyle is the best for this. I asked him, well, when I played the Naruto trading card game a while back, and I had some friends, and they want to know, hey, can you get some Kyle Hebert autographs of Kiba? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't want to push the guy. The guy's a pretty good man, so I don't want to push him over the edge, or he might kill me. So I'm like, hey, Kyle, I got a small favor to ask. Can you maybe sign some cards? You're like, oh, sure, no problem. Just send me the self-addressed envelope. And he signed, you know, I don't know how many cards he signed. Probably like 20 or 25. I mean, I was mind blown. I mean, that is the professionalism we're seeing in the anime industry that we need to see in the anime industry. You know, that is why Kyle Hebert is par excellence in the field of anime. Because he will go that extra mile to make sure his fans are satisfied. And he also has his podcast, the Big Ball Broadcast. We're going to talk about that a little in the show. But I think, you know, I think I've heard myself talk way too long. So let's go ahead and get this guy out here. My next guest is a very accomplished voice actor and podcast host. He's best known as Gohan, Great Saiyaman, the narrator from Dragonball Z, Vato Fallman from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You know, he's pretty much got the Adult Swim block covered, you know. I mean, he's got that. He's got Disney XD. This guy, it's pretty hard not to find him because he is just everywhere. And he's also the co-host of the Big Ball Broadcast, which you can download off of iTunes or bigballbroadcast.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. He is the one. He is the only. He is Mr. Kyle Hebert. Oh, hey, Kyle. Oh, man. Hey, we had to give you some kind of entrance music, you know. And for those who don't know, that's Tendril, Eternal Sacrifice from the first Broly movie.
That sounds pretty darn awesome, dude. I feel like a wrestler right now. I feel like there should be pyro going off.
Well, we can't afford pyro, you know. You know, pyro in the Bearcast Jack and Jones Schreier studio at UC, that's kind of hard to pull off, you know. I mean, I was lucky to get Return the Hitman here, so... Anyway, Kyle.
Hey, that's all good.
Anyway, thank you.
This is radio. It's theater of the mind. It all works.
Yes, that's right. We're going to add some applause in the podcast, but I can't do it right now because I haven't got that kind of technology. But anyway, Kyle, thank you and welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show.
Well, thanks. Thank you for having me.
I got to tell you, growing up, you know, life pretty much sucked with high school. You know, the nerds were being picked on by the bullies, but every day after school, we go over to Grandpa's, we eat, then we'd head right over to our house, 5:30 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Toonami, Dragon Ball Z. And
yeah.
I tell you, you know, that was that was good storyline. And I got nothing against the new stuff now, but you're not going to replace Dragon Ball Z. It is a gem in the anime dynasty.
It's been the show that converted a lot of people over to anime. it's either that or Sailor Moon or Inuyasha, but I get a lot of DBZ love from the fans and a lot of female fans too. A lot of people make the wrong assumption that DBZ is just a sausage fest. It's just for guys. It's like, oh no, this has a huge female following.
What they think it's just guys are on there. There are plenty of girls. Android 18, Bulma, Chi-Chi, the witch lady, Iluzumi, Marin, Krillin's daughter. You got Pan, and I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. but seriously, you have been. I don't know if it was before or after the Cell game saga that you became this big part of it. But we'll talk about that a little later on in the show. We got a set list of questions here, and the first one is, how did you get started in voice acting?
It all started when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. No, it actually it started with a dream. I was probably age 8, watching Looney Tunes and learning that Mel Blanc, who, of course, rest his soul, voiced all of those classic characters. And I found that doing wacky voices around the house came pretty easily to me. So I said, you know what, I want to do that. And I also had a great love of radio. I actually wanted to grow up and be a DJ. So ended up getting a degree in radio, TV, film from the University of North Texas, right outside of Dallas.
Yeah. I'm an electronic media major myself here at the University of Cincinnati, so I hope to be breaking out real soon into the radio field.
Oh, very nice. It sounds like you're having a blast there. You get to do a show about topics that you enjoy. See, back in the day, I had to, it was a student-run radio station playing nothing but jazz music, so I was kind of constrained by the format, but I wanted to get on the air, and that was the easiest way, right? Become a student, volunteer at the student radio station. So I did that. Then I got an internship at ABC Radio Networks in Dallas. Stayed there for years, working everything from classic country to heavy metal to kids radio, Radio Disney.
I know that because on your Wikipedia page, you worked at Radio Disney under the name Squee.
That's right. Squeege was my air name, and I did a ton of, I was kind of like a fusion of Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, and just bouncing off the walls, playing tons of sound effects and pretending that my show was from a spaceship and all sorts of wackiness. So, yeah, I was doing that sort of thing. And come the summer of 2000, that's right, 10 years ago, I got to try out for Funimation because some of our Radio Disney marketing folks were talking to Funimation about, doing some giveaways, some prize giveaways, because Dragon Ball Z was the big thing right then. And they came back to the studio and said, hey, guess what? They have open auditions right now. Here's the number. So I went and tried out, got lucky, did some bit part voices on Bardock Special, and they were coming to the tail end of the Cell saga. So I took over doing some small voices there. And just a couple of months passed, and I got the very first character I actually auditioned for, which was Teen Gohan, after the Cell games.
Yes, I personally enjoyed the Teen Gohan, the Great Saiyaman arc. That was a pretty good arc. We were just watching it the other day on watch-dragonball.com. That's a shameless plug, so you should go and watch it. It's pretty good stuff. And I gotta be honest, I have been having a Dragon Ball Z fix for the last few months. I went out, I rebought Budokai 2. I've been doing the cheat code, getting all the capsules and breakthrough. And I tell you, one of my favorite moves on that game, Great Saiyaman Justice Pose. That is awesome. I actually know the Great Saiyaman pose.
People often ask me, what's your favorite quote? And for years, I was saying it was from one of the Budokai games as the Great Saiyaman. I'm going to beat some fashion sense into you. I love that.
I mean, I'm trying to do it right now. Geez, how'd it go? It went cross, up knee, arms out. Great Saiyaman!
Oh,
I nailed
nice.
it. And then when you press the wrong buttons, he did this. He pushed his hands out, and it was really awkward. And then he starts stomping the ground like, I can't believe I got it wrong. That was pretty awesome. And I'm going to tell you what I've been telling everyone: there are not enough Great Saiyaman cosplayers. You got plenty of Goku cosplayers and Vegeta cosplayers. And the one cosplay I need to see more of, Great Saiyaman and Nappa. And I think with the abridged series, I think they're getting some more attention to Dragon Ball Z. And while we're on the topic, have you seen the Dragon Ball Z abridged series? And what's your opinion of it?
I think it's hysterical. I've met Little Karibo and some of the other guys, and they're great. It's hysterical. I love that the internet has opened up this huge universe of opportunity for people with a really creative mind to get out there and create content for the fans. And even though it's not official and no one's being paid for it, it's really, really funny. And it's obviously getting a ton of hits. And those guys are getting invited to cons now. They're web celebs. It's really, really cool.
Hopefully, I will be the next web celeb. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. We had a little Karibo on our show no more than 2 weeks ago. We're trying to get the ball rolling here on the Dennis Daniels Show. And by the way, BearcastRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We have Kyle Hebert on the air, voice actor supreme. Now, how do you prepare for a role you're doing or auditioning for?
Well, the only thing you can really do to prepare for an audition is get there early, because you're not given any information beforehand. You'll get a phone call or an email saying, can you come in on next Tuesday at 10 a.m., and we're going to have you try out for this new show. It's like, oh, okay. So you show up early, so you have time to kind of study the audition sides, and you're given very little information. In fact, it's like bullet point info. It's like, here's the story, here's the character, here's how he fits into the story, here's his motivation, and here's some lines showing a range of emotion. And that's all you have to go on. So it's very important that people that are interested in voice acting understand to get a background in acting and get some training and really learn the ins and outs, and so you can go in there and be prepared for it. Because if you do ever get the chance to try out for this, and I hope everyone does that's interested in it, that you go in armed, and knowledge is very, very important about this, because you're juggling a lot of things. You're doing a character voice, you're acting. Eventually, you're going to be matching lip sync if it's an anime, and you're going to be taking direction from your director. You're going to have good listening skills, good cold reading skills. You're going to fabricate this performance out of very little information, and it's a delicate balance. A lot of actors come from the stage and they freeze up trying to do anime. Oh, they're like, oh, there's the syncopated beeps that throw me off, or I can't match lip flaps. Coming from the stage, you learn you get a lot of acting sort of things, and you learn the meat of what it is to become a character and this, that, and the other. And I strongly encourage people to do that. Get involved in either radio or definitely theater. Talk to other actors. Train with other actors. Take classes and seminars. But the thing about the stage is you're projecting to an audience the whole time. In voice acting, that microphone is in very close proximity to your voice, so you don't have to shout everything. You have to just build a performance with nothing visual. You can't flail your arms about and move left and right because the mic will, lose the sound. You know this from working in radio. You got to stay quite close in on that mic. So it's just juggling all that stuff together.
Now, another question we have is, who are some of your favorite voice actors to work with, and what are your favorite moments or stories with them?
Well, I'll tell you, in anime and video games, which is basically the only kind of project I've done, done a couple of commercials, but what I've really done for 10 years is anime and games. Those projects are recorded actors by themselves in the booth, so I don't technically work with anyone other than the director and the engineer in the session. That's all that's ever there. In a cartoon, anything that's done domestically, you would have the whole cast there, which is a lot more fun. You get to play off each other's performance and everything, and that's really why I moved to Los Angeles. I was in Texas all these years, and I still fly back to work on DBZ Kai and SMA Brotherhood for Funimation. I still have a good working relationship with them, but living out here, this is my holy grail. I would love to get on Futurama, Family Guy, Pixar movie, that sort of stuff. But I've been a lifelong fan of anime and games, so I have a great amount of respect for the voice acting community. I've worked with some tremendous talents, and my list is way too long, but to throw some names just pop into my head right now: Chris Sabat, Scott McNeil, Wendy Lee, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Troy Baker, Yuri Lowenthal. God, I mean, I'm just not doing everyone justice here. Crispin Freeman. The names just go on and on. These people are tremendous talents, and they're wonderful people, and that's why I love this field so much, because I love the art of voice acting, and I love the people that are involved in voice acting.
Oh, I want to pause there for 1 sec, Kyle. It's funny that you mentioned Wendy Lee, because next time on the Dennis Daniels Show, we're going to have voice actress Wendy Lee on. So it's, oh boy. So everyone who's a Haruhi Suzumiya fan, oh boy. I'm gonna take some Motrin for this, because oh boy.
Nice.
I'm not a big Haruhi fan, and everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you like Haruhi?" Because she reminds me of me, except I'm overweight, I'm a guy, and I was hyper before hyper was cool, and I don't have the powers of God. So
no.
So another one is there anyone in the voice acting industry that you look up to? I know you talked about Mel Blanc. Is there anyone else?
Oh, absolutely. All these guys. Everyone I just listed, and then hundreds more, it seems like. But, I really look up to, actually, Steve Bloom is, he voiced Spike in Cowboy Bebop, and now he's voiced Wolverine on all the X-Men stuff. And he's a very dear friend and mentor to me. He actually kind of fished my demo around L.A. before I actually moved here, and helped me get involved in the L.A. recording scene. So I think I truly owe my career to Steve Bloom. He's an amazing person, and he paid it forward. The person that helped him out was the voice of Porky Pig, Bob Bergen, whom I also know. Pat Fraley is another great character voice actor and a great teacher and mentor. And Bob and Steve and Pat were all championing me to get out of Texas and come to L.A., because this is where the projects that I want to do happen. So I will always be gratefully indebted to them, and of course anyone else, and the fans from around the world, around the country, and everything that have been very, very so supportive through the years over the various bastions of social media. Back then in the day, I was using just Instant Messenger, and I was using like LiveJournal, and then MySpace was the thing. And now, of course, it's all about Facebook and Twitter. So I'm always staying in touch with folks.
Oh, so you've worked with Pat Fraley, which it's funny because Pat Fraley was the very, very first guest on the beginning Dennis Daniels Show, and dude. It was awesome because in the beginning, I didn't know he was going to do this. He started trash talking me as Krang, and I'm like, Krang? Oh no! And I'm like, and we got into a fight. It was beautiful. How's Pat doing?
I think he's doing well. He's just trucking along, teaching his classes, helping the next generation, learn their stuff and get on board. And I'm hoping that because working professionals always stand to learn something. Even though they're established, they're always, got to keep on their toes and learn the latest trends and keep your skills polished and everything. So I'm definitely hoping to gather up some money and take some more classes with Pat and some other folks.
Well, the next time you see Pat, tell him Dennis Daniels says hello, and that he will have to come back on for round 2 with me and my brother John Pokemon, who could not be here today. He's also a very big DBZ fan. Actually, his DBZ is what got me into anime, so I owe a lot to him, ironically, of course.
Awesome.
BearcastRadio.com. We've got Kyle Hebert on, and we are taking questions at IMDJ or Twitter. Okay, let's move on let's move on down the line. Now, we got some questions about your work in anime, and the first question is there going to be an English version of Gurren Lagen, Childhood's End, and will you be in it?
The Childhood's End, I think, came out this past week from Aniplex America. They announced months ago that there would not be a dub version of that. Oh. It's just a sign of the times. The economy's bad, and of course, piracy is rampant in the anime fandom, and those affect DVD sales. So when they look at the numbers, they find it hard to justify the expense. So unfortunately, at this point, there's no dub in the works for the movies of Gurren Lagann. But I have been kind of on a personal campaign to tell fans to email. I think the best candidate would be Sci-Fi Channel, because they aired the TV series over and over again. It was a huge hit. The DVD sales spiked because of the broadcast. And, I'm telling folks to just go to sci-fi.com and hit the contact link or feedback and let them know. It's like, I'm a huge Gurren Lagen fan. I watched the show when it aired on your channel, and I'm really hoping you guys will get the rights to air the movies in English. So if that happens, Aniplex America had said, if we get a broadcast deal, then we'll go ahead and do it. Otherwise, it's not in the cards, sadly.
I mean, I have seen a few episodes of Gurren Lagen, and I was talking about this. I tell you, I like Kamina. I'm calling him the Bret Hart of anime just because of the glasses, the attitude, just the attire he wears. And I want to know, how was it not just a big nutshot that he died 8 episodes into the show when he was basically carrying the entire series from the beginning?
Spoiler, but yes.
I should have put a spoiler tag on that. We'll rewind it back a little bit. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And this goes into my next question. In Gurren Lagann, you voice Kamina, a somewhat arrogant and also passionate man that has become quite popular in the anime realm. How did you develop his character, and what do you think about the idea that many believe that there is a metaphor for him for being God?
I haven't heard the God thing before, but I kind of think of him as the Tony Robbins of anime. He's like Mr. Motivator, Mr. Manly, Mr. Do the Impossible, that sort of thing. And he is like the shining focal point of why that show resonates with a lot of people. It's not just another giant robot show. It's really about the characters, and Kamina's spirit endeavors through the entire series. So his sacrifice actually definitely forwards the story for Simone and everyone else. So other than a personal sense of, oh, man, I'm thinking, you know what, it really did serve the story nice. And his spirit goes on, and I continue to see tons of cosplayers just blow me away with a tribute to such an awesome character.
What I want to know is, why are there not mass-produced Kamina glasses? Those are pretty sweet glasses.
I've gotten a few fan-made ones on artist alleys of cons, and if you're not careful, that fiberglass will cut the bridge of your nose really easily.
Well, you get some tape and put on the edge there, and then put it on there. Not to sound like I'm comparing them, but I think the Kamina glasses just might be equally as great as the Bret Hart sunglasses that go on eBay for $200. I keep telling WWE, make some Bret Hart glasses. Those would sell like hotcakes. But no, they gotta go through Bret and get some money, get some kind of deal going on. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangerine there, but let's rewind it back. Another question. Now, I know in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, you reprise your role as Vato Fallman. And how is this different from your role as him in the original series?
As far as I know, there is no difference other than, the context of the entire story being faithful to the manga this time. And I am told by fans that he has a much bigger role. So I'm looking forward to that. I've flown to Texas a few times to record for him on some of the episodes, and he has already aired on Adult Swim. He's on the first box set, I believe, out on Blu-ray and DVD. So, and now I know that the final episode just streamed from Japan. So we've got a little ways to go recording-wise, but I figure in the next 6 to 9 months I'll be wrapped up on the character. But I'm looking forward to see where his story arc goes.
Gosh, man, it's already, the final episode's already aired, and I just got my Edward cosplay. Sheesh, man, I'm not going to be able to enjoy it now. Curse you, Japan, for not making the show longer. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll do another movie or something. I forget. Were you involved in the Conqueror of Shambhala?
Just barely. I had maybe a handful of lines. I am in there though.
We want to give y'all some Fallman love. I like Fallman. I think he's a real down to earth kind of guy. I really like him. So
And he looks like Brock from Pokemon, too.
Which is, you are bringing up all this irony. After Pat Fraley, we had Eric Stewart on the show. And he had the guy who did Brock on the show. Oh, man. It is one big irony circle here for some reason. BearcastRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We have Kyle Hebert on the air. If you have questions, IM us at DJ Bearcast. We've got questions. Well, you got questions. Let's get them answered. Now, I guess we could bounce along right now to your podcast, the Big Ball Broadcast. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
That's something that's been going on for about, when did it start? 2005. So, yeah, this is the 5th year. It started, the idea of podcast kind of popped out that year. It's like, this is the idea of making on-demand interview or radio shows about anything you wanted to do, and all you needed was a computer and a microphone, and then a couple of simple steps to set up and get the shows uploaded, someone to host it, and then have a blog page, and boom, you have a new internet presence. And that was exciting to me, coming from radio. So I was kind of burned out. I was thinking, I think I got the radio bug out of me. I want to move into voiceover. And then I was hearing this podcast buzzword being talked about. And it's like, you know what? I want to do a show about the things that interest me. So I got my good friend Otherworld Steve, who has been my web guy for years. He created KyleHebert.com back in the day. It's been through various iterations, and I had a message board back in the day called the House of Bean Dip, which is no longer in existence. But we got together. We said, okay, we're going to talk about cartoons, animation. We're going to talk about comic books, movies, tech, the things that get us jazzed, video games. So we've been doing that through the years. And about a year ago, another friend of mine, Mark, came on board to help us engineer and take things to the next level. We started streaming live on Stickcam every week, doing a show and help building our audience there. And so we've got a lot of numbers and everything. And the future is a little bit gray, unfortunately. My good friend Steve has become a father for the second time, and I just don't feel right continuing the show without him, because we built it together. And Mark's got his own projects in mind. He wants to work on a podcast network and everything. So I'm thinking it's just about time to hang the hat on that. But I'm not going to be gone from the internet radio presence altogether. I just have to kind of refocus and rejuvenate some ideas and see where I'm going. I'm hoping eventually to light a fire under my butt and get motivated to chronicle my journey as a voice actor, moving from Texas to L.A. and dealing with the harsh realities of working in freelance. And so people can see what that's really like, and do an audio book, obviously, since I'm a voice actor, and chronicle that sort of journey and everything. And then if the opportunity strikes me, maybe I'll do some guest spots on other podcasts and everything. But for right now, Big Ball Broadcast has 149 episodes that you can go back and listen to. Obviously, it's all time-sensitive, topical things from the time, but it's kind of a nostalgic thing. We even did one episode dedicated to an audio commentary of Revenge of the Sith when it came out on DVD. So just like riff tracks, you put on the DVD, hit play on the MP3, and watch it play out. But yeah, it's been a blast, and I'm anxious to see where everyone goes from here on out.
Well, maybe you just need a plucky young new co-host for the Big Ball Broadcast. Probably someone of a pretty big build, curly hair, Bearcast Innovator of 2009. Just saying. But I don't understand. I could not do the All-Taste Explosion without my brother, John Pokemon. But unfortunately, I have to, because he decided to go to a haunted sanitary in Louisville. Ooh, gosh. Can you believe that? A haunted sanitarium. The only thing scary he's going to find there is a Post-it note that says boo. He could have gone into our garage and turned off all the lights, look for the haunted toolbox of General Zapata and save his money. Because what we're going to do, walk around a dark, scary sanitarium for 2 hours? Oh, I'm so startled. It'll be like the South Park episode with all the guinea pigs. Oh, I'm so startled. Oh, Ashley, she's so startled. And basically, that's my impression of going to the haunted sanitarium in Louisville. It's not perfect, but... Now, all right. Now, I mean, do you expect to now? Who is Otherworld Steve? People have been wondering who is this mysterious Otherworld Steve.
He's my good friend Steve. He's actually in a band called Perimeter of the Void, which is kind of like an experimental metal fusion progressive sort of thing. And if you want to check out his music, which I think is awesome, not just because I know him, I actually would dig it anyway, you can go to eberecords.com and check out that. He actually has his own record label. He's got some different sort of musical styles represented. He's got all sorts of cool things like DJ Unicron, so you got some cool trance, techno stuff, and then the metal thing. So eberecords.com to check out that stuff, including Steve's band, Perimeter of the Void.
And that's a plug there, Steve. You're welcome. Bearcastradio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Kyle Hebert, voice actor supreme. That's
no.
This guy, yes. Oh, yes. You are voice actor supreme. Now, I know because I would assume that since you jumped from, Funimation with the FMA and DBZ, and you jump over to Viz for Naruto and Bleach, which I like Ganju, by the way.
Oh, that's good to hear, because I met someone at a con who said, "Oh, he's the Jar Jar Binks of Bleach," and I said, no way."
What? How could you not appreciate Ganju, especially when he has a hot sister? A hot sister. But I think everyone remembers the screaming scene from Ichigo and Ganju when you're all going,
Ganju was so much fun to dub. I wish he didn't just disappear. I mean, at last we saw he was working at a convenience store. They just never shut back to him. So
they need to go. Where's Ganju? He's over at the convenience store. What? He's working at a 7-Eleven? He had such a big role in the beginning when Ichigo first found out he was a Soul Reaper. So he goes from possibly B major character to 7-Eleven employee. That's crap.
I know.
That's crap. And you also do what's his name? The guy got impaled in the wall, but he wasn't really impaled in the wall, and it was like a ghost thingy, so he wasn't really impaled in the wall. And the green grass goes.
Well, that's my big character, Aizen.
Yeah. He was impaled in the wall, and the ground, and the green grass goes all around, and the green grass grows all. Bad
exactly.
Joke. So now what's it like to voice? I mean, he seems like a calm, go with the flow kind of guy.
Yeah, he's very calm, collected, and when I read the audition script, he said he's mysterious, he's cool, he's friendly, but you never really know his motivations. So my inspiration for the voice, which they ended up, hiring me for, was inspired by the voice of the computer on 2001, The Space Odyssey, the HAL 9000. Good morning, Dave. How are you? And this is this very friendly computer that ends up killing all the astronauts on the spaceship, by shutting their air off and their life support while they're in hypersleep. So it's a very, very calm, soothing voice that I actually kind of recycled from my days back at Funimation in Texas when I was on Yu Yu Hakusho. I voiced a character named Karasu in the Dark Tournament saga, and I used the very same calm, collected sort of voice. It was my very first villain. I still sign autographs. I've even seen some Karasu cosplayers. But of course, now with the prominence of Bleach, I see a ton of Aizens in both forms. The good Aizen, the bad Aizen, with glasses, without glasses, and surrounded by his ladies and everything, and all his army. And I keep waiting for him to get off his pimp throne and do something, because he's plotting. He's plotting. You can tell things are ticking in his head, but we're waiting for the big thing to just explode.
How come we never see it, impale Karasu, Or impaled Aizen, you see good Aizen, bad Aizen, like you said. How about impaled Aizen, I've seen a lot of Naruto, I've seen one Haku cosplayer with a plastic hand through her chest with the Orby thingy in it. It's, we see that, Here's what I say to an Aizen cosplayer that has the sword through their chest. Hey, you're doing a good job, man. No guts, no glory. Hey, no guts,
Nice.
no glory. Kind of give you that empty feeling. Oh, that was a burn.
But then,
Oh yeah. That's another key thing on the All Taste Explosion. Bad puns. Now, let's jump over from the anime to the video game, because I know that you have been involved in quite the number of video games. Super Street Fighter 4, you are Ryu, and you're going to be reviving your character as Ryu in the brand new Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds. What's that like?
well, I hope so anyway. I know the game is still quite a ways away. I'm waiting for the call to go in and record on it. I think what's out there now, they must have lifted a voice track from a previous Street Fighter session to stick in there. But yeah, I'm excited at the opportunity. I hope they call us in because they have a ton of characters in there. And I do remember our director saying that, you know, when you get the English cast locked in for Street Fighter, Capcom kind of wants to keep them from here on out. So I was a little let down when Tatsunoko came out. We didn't get to do a dub for that. So I don't know why they wouldn't put a dub on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because that's a singular title. Tatsunoko had, you know, rights issues and tons of, you know, residuals that would have been split up and they'd never make their money back if they invested in the dub. So I understand it's a business decision and everything. But, yeah, I'm looking forward. I actually got to go to E3. I stood in line for an hour and a half, and I got to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I can tell you guys, hands-on, that it is going to blow your mind.
You understand in line? Shoot, man, you voice that stuff. You should go, step aside. Voice actor coming through.
Hadouken! Hadouken play.
Ow! I felt that one. Ow! Ow, my stomach.
I know, right?
I know. I felt that one. And what's amazing, I just found this out no more than a few days ago, that a lot of the voices for the Super Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 4 are also guys from Funimation. I know Chun-Li is done by Laura Bailey, who did Kid Trunks, and Lust from Fullmetal Alchemist.
That's right.
You know,
you've got Travis Willingham. You've got Caitlin Glass as Cammy. Yeah, a lot of us that come over to the West Coast got to be on this awesome franchise, and we're all super, super lucky because we're all gaming geeks, believe it or not. We love playing the games. I love playing the games, especially if I can play a game that has my character as a playable character. So naturally, I'm always playing as my character.
Wait. Did you say? Wait, do you mean like you, Kyle Hebert, is a playable character on a Street Fighter game?
Oh no, not me, but I mean my character is. I can select it and play as that. I've never been in a game as myself. No, I don't think that'll ever happen. But
who knows?
I'm always excited when I see or record on a game where I can just take the controller and then push the buttons and hear my voice come out of the TV. I like that.
Ah, yes. I mean, that's got to be a lot of fun to voice a video game. Now, is there really any big difference between voicing a video game and voicing an anime?
Well, with the video game, there tends to not be any lip sync involved. Sometimes the cutscenes are still being animated in Japan by the time the English dub is still being done, so there's no frame of reference. In fact, we had that problem on Street Fighter 4, where there's nothing but rough animatics and sometimes just static images. And we did the best we could, but we had no lip sync to perform to. So that's why the lip sync's quite a bit off on some of the cutscenes and on the movie that came as a bonus disc. And we don't like working that way, but Capcom was like, oh, well, we got to get the game done. Got to get it recorded. Like, okay. But yeah, there's very little to none lip sync involved. Instead, on a video game, what you're doing to match is the timing of the Japanese audio, if it's a Japanese game. So we'll hear that and say, okay, you've got 10 seconds to say this line. It's like, all right, and if it takes too long, then we'll have to edit it or I'll have to say it faster. So we'll see the script on an Excel spreadsheet, literally, and it's just divided up in columns. So here's the character number, here's the cue sheet for the engineer to go by, here's the line, here's the producer's notes, and here's the timing of the line. It'll say, like, The answer lies in the heart of battle. And then the time will say point, or 3 seconds. It's like, all right, I've got 3 seconds to say that line. And they prefer it to be said shorter than that, but not right at it. So that can be an interesting challenge sometimes. But another huge difference is the pay is way better on a video game than anime. Anime is kind of like the red-haired stepchild of the voice acting world because the pay is so low. And the irony is it's the hardest kind of voice work to do. Lip sync trips a lot of actors up, and it's a very technical skill, being able to juggle that thing. Like I was saying earlier, juggling the acting, the voice, and all that, and proximity to the mic, and honoring what the director tells you to do all at once without having studied it, except maybe seeing it one time in Japanese before you're doing it. So that can be tough. And then we're performing on the fly with the video game. You see your script on screen, Excel spreadsheet going on down the page, doing, okay, now we do the fight reactions. Do a light damage, medium damage, heavy damage. All the different sounds and different intensities, different lengths. And then depending on the amount of screaming, your voice could be shot at the end of the session.
Ah, yes, the infamous voices shot syndrome. You were telling me about this because I know on Dragon Ball Z with a lot of the Gohan's Kamehameha, which we asked if you could do a short one first at the end of the interview because I got the sound effects and I want to do that. That'd be awesome. But you were telling me a while back that at one point you were shouting for at least 2 minutes in length, and it got to a point where you passed out.
I felt dizzy. I felt lightheaded. I know other actors, I think, who did. I think Sean Schemmel or Eric Vale or Justin Cook have passed out before. I had 5 Kamehamehas in one episode, and one of them just kept going and going and going. So I had to scream full set of lungs as long as I could. They'd stop the recording and then say, all right, take a deep breath. All right, let's do it one more time. Scream as long as I could. Do the same thing, and then they would just edit it together and blend them into one continuous scream.
I know on Budokai 2, one of Gohan's moves is the Super Kamehameha. And even on that, you take a break. There's a big break in it, so you can, catch your breath and then do it again. But for stuff like this, I am envious of you that you have the stamina and that much dedication that you do this. I've tried it, and I've nearly shot my voice out of it. My voice box almost came out of my mouth and into my brother's face when I tried to do it. So I kneel and worship you for doing that, because I could not do it. I even tried to do the lip syncing at OhioCon in 2006. Chris Sabat had a voice dubbing panel, and of course I bugged the irritating crap out of him to be in it. So and then I tried it, and I sucked very bad. And for the record, I apologize for interrupting Chris Sabat when he was doing Vegeta singing "Mama Said Knock You Out." That was my bad, and I was at a different time, and I was younger and stupid. I'm not saying I'm not stupid, but I was younger then and didn't know better. So if Chris Sabat's hearing, I apologize. That will haunt me for the rest of my life. There are thousands of videos of that on YouTube, and you can hear me going, "What do you rip with me, the Maniac Psycho?" And then at the end, he goes, I think I'll let him finish the rest of the song. It's not one of my prouder moments. I was stupid and young, and I was a big fan. I was like a hyper fan. So but I've learned to calm it down. Talking to them on a level, on a nice, not evil level, a level. So yeah. Now, BearcastRadio.com. This is the Dennis Daniels Show. We've got Kyle Hebert, voice actor supreme. Check out his show, BigBallBroadcast.com. Now, we got a few listener questions, and the first one is, outside of doing voice acting and the podcast, what are some of your hobbies?
Well, my hobbies is I'm a big gadget whore. I love my iPhone. I am on this thing. I'm tethered to it. I'm talking to you on it right now, my iPhone 4.
Oh, you got the iPhone 4? Oh,
yeah, I stood in line for 7 hours, and I had one reserved.
How is it?
It's awesome. The battery life is still kind of icky, but at the same time, I'm constantly on it, so I understand why the battery's being drained. I'm always checking Facebook, Twitter, email. I'm always checking websites and getting the latest feeds on my RSS app and all this crazy stuff. If I have to, I can I can, in a pinch, I can record auditions on the iPhone and send it off, and it's totally usable. And it's just been a fantastic resource, and it's all devices in one. I don't walk around with a Nintendo DS or a PSP anymore ever since I got an iPhone. It's my gaming device. It's my radio. It's my task management. It's my phone, obviously. But it's everything rolled into one convenient little gadget. And now, it shoots high-def video and really great crystal clear pictures, and it's just awesome. I love it.
I bet the video quality is not as good as the Kodak ZI-8, which I have, by the way.
But you can't do all the other things that the iPhone can with that for the same price.
I'm pondering getting the iPhone as soon as my contract with AT&T expires. I don't know if I'm going to bounce for the iPhone 4 because it's $200 and I don't have that. I might spring for the iPhone 3GS.
Well, there's also an alternative. There's rumors that this fall you'll see an iPod Touch with all the same specs as the iPhone 4 without the phone.
Really? That would be beautiful.
Yeah,
I tell you. Apple, wow. Apple, I've got a MacBook Pro, and if I had a nickel for every time I had to go into the shop, I'd be a millionaire. Instead of paying millions to get it. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with Apple products. They damage like the dickens. That's why I want one of those new MacBook Pro unibodies, because they look so beautiful.
The only Apple product I own is 30 years has been an iPod, and now the iPhones I've had from 3G on. And I don't own a MacBook Pro or any of that stuff. I would love to. I'd love to try it. The problem is the price. You have the cost of PCs now are so cheap, and you get better specs for, $500 that are equal to the specs of a, $1,200 MacBook. And it's like, I'm sorry, guys, the price wins out. If I ever get the money, I would love to try a Mac, though. I know people live and die by it once they've converted.
Oh yeah, there's no other way. There's no way around getting around a MacBook Pro because I've had this MacBook Pro since my college career started, and I have not been separated for like a long time. So it's
nice.
It's a beautiful thing. It may be getting some bangs and dents, but it's wear and tear. You can't help it.
Sure.
Now,
yeah.
I know because I checked your Wikipedia page that, like me, winning my Bearcast Innovator of 2009, I love rubbing that in. You have won a SPJA award for your role as Kamina and Gurren Lagen at Anime Expo 2009. What was that like?
That was wild. It truly was. Now, that was a kind of a user-generated sort of award. At the time, the way they did that is it's like, whoever gets the most awards. So I naturally used social media to my advantage and said, hey, guys, vote for me. Because the other candidates in the category were Dave Wittenberg, who's Kakashi on Naruto, and Afro Samurai himself, Sam Jackson. So it sounds good that it's like, I beat Sam Jackson on an award. But I think the truth of the matter is I was probably the only one who was proactive in getting the fans to vote. So I don't know what happened there. But at the end of the day, I got the award, and it's the very first award that I've ever gotten in the realm of voice acting, and it felt great, and it felt like some good vindication. I remember when Sci-Fi first aired Gurren Lagen, I saw a lot of otaku hate. And of course, they hate the English dub anyway, but they were just saying, oh, yeah, Kamina doesn't sound manly enough, it's terrible, it's poorly acted. And then they watched a little bit more of it, and they said, all right, well, you're not so bad, you're okay. And I was like, all right, well, I got an award for it. I can't be too terrible. I just did my job. That's the thing. I was directed to not sound like the Japanese voice actor, who I got to meet at Anime Expo last week. Very, very cool guy. And it's just they noted, Aniplex knows that, you can't have a character who's very brash and loud and talks very, it would be perceived as obnoxious to a Western audience to have him just the whole time and sound 40 when his actual age is 17. So I was directed to pitch the voice up and have some nuances and some subtleties in it and not be all the whole time. So that's always going to be my defense for anyone who says, oh, yeah, it's terrible in English. Oh, why did you ruin this role? It's like, you know what? The actor that you see on the final product on a DVD or YouTube or wherever you watch anime, that's the job they were told to do, and they did their job, and that's why they keep working. Otherwise, you're not going to work again if you're going to take a director to task and just do your own thing. It's not your place. It's not your call.
Exactly. They either need to appreciate it or GTFO.
Well, you know what? We had this invention called DVD in 1997 that offered you dual language. Pick the one you want to watch it and watch it. Enjoy it. Don't give the other side grief. What's the point of that? There's so many other things in this world to get mad about. Why go on this huge internet rage about how it's evil because it's English? Oh, it's terrible. It's like, how can you judge a performance in Japanese if you don't speak the language? How can you interpret a performance as being more genuine or anything if you don't speak the language? That's my only point.
Exactly. You don't bash one side and then go ahead and bash the other. You don't bash one side just to prove that the other one's better. Okay, you like Japanese over English. Okay, a lot of people do, but there's no reason to bash it into the Stone Age. I mean, come on.
No, if you're the creator of that show, you want to reach a biggest audience as you can. And we live in a country where a lot of people don't like to read subtitles. It's not a bad thing. It's just a fact. I don't like to read subtitles. I would rather watch the video or animation and not miss what's going on because I was reading.
Exactly. I don't watch TV to read. I watch TV to get away from my problems in life. If I want to read, I'll read a book, which I don't really read books to begin with. So that's my confession right there. I'm sticking to it. But
I tell people if I wanted to read my anime, I'd buy manga.
I would buy manga too, but I don't buy it. I get it for free because I rule like that. Now, and while we're on the topic on anime, we talked to Vic about a month or two ago about his views on piracy in the anime industry. What is your view on the anime industry piracy issue?
I think the fans at large, for the most part, don't do it to stick it to the man or anything. They just love anime. Bless their souls. They want the product as quickly as possible, and the internet is the greatest blessing and curse there is. It's made life so convenient that the blood, sweat, and tears of a major corporation spends millions of dollars to create a product can be instantly dispensed for free, and suddenly they can't make back their investment. Anime is a business. Yes, it's an art form, but the reason it exists is to make money. People want to make money doing what they love. I get paid to voice act. Those artists in Japan that create manga and anime get paid to do that stuff. There needs to be a return on that investment. So I always tell fans, if you're going to download shows and download fan subs, and you're going to call yourself a fan of a show, support the creators of that show. Create the studio. Support the series with your official purchases. Save your money. Yes, it's expensive, but save your money. You can't go into a restaurant and expect food for free. You pay for it. You save for the things you want to buy. So if you're going to sit there with a hard drive full of 500 shows that you call yourself a fan of, if they're available in an official format, please go support it. If it has a key ring, if it has a T-shirt, not a bootleg, a real merchandise, officially sanctioned product, support it with your money so that money can go back into the system to keep the industry alive. Otherwise, it's going to slow to a crawl and almost die. We've seen ADV have to disperse. We've seen Gineon get absorbed into the ether, and then Funimation kind of rescue its titles from a distribution standpoint. It's kind of scary. There's less shows being brought over to the States. There's even fewer shows being dubbed. And, these shows, I'm worried that Gurren Lagen movies aren't going to sell as well as the TV series solely based on the fact that they don't have an English dub on them. That's just my personal opinion.
I know. And once again, I would like to remind everyone in the listening vicinity of my voice that BearcastRadio.com, The Dennis Daniels Show, and the All-Taste Explosion with the Boogaloo Shrimp featuring John Pokemon do not in any way, shape, or form condone the use of piracy to downloading anime illegally. Folks, if you can't afford the anime, rent it from your local library. It's like they don't know this foreign place called the library. They've got anime there. If you can't buy it, if you can't afford it, don't go out and steal it. And if you're going to rent it from the library, don't rip it unless you're making a music video, which I like to make AMVs actually a lot. But don't go posting it on Jimmy's website. It's just, hey, I don't even know who Jimmy is. But don't go post it to where everyone else can download and watch it. That's going to kill the industry. It's going to kill the industry like a lethal dose of poison into its arm, you know?
Yeah.
And then
there were websites that would charge a premium subscription rate to its viewers to help pay for its bandwidth. That's money going to that website. It's not money going back to the creators of the show.
I know, and that is obviously just a bunch of bullcrap. And it gets me so mad that people are gonna do that, and I don't know why they do it.
You know, this stuff has to be paid for some way.
And sometimes, if they're really nice, they'll let you view a 2-minute commercial in the beginning of it, and then watch your show commercial free. You know, are we really that tight? I know the economy is bad and everything. Money's tight. People don't have a lot of money to throw out to anime. But if we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna steal it, it's the anime version of Napster, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna be down the road. We're not paying right now. Down the road, we are going to pay, you know? And I think maybe it's about time that some of these distributors start cracking down. I mean, on YouTube, Funimation's got a channel, so you can watch it there. But I pray that no one figures out how to download it, because that's just as bad as taking the DVD rip.
Well, you know, you got to meet in the middle between what the fans want and what the businesses can get by with. They meet in the middle. So we see entire volumes, the first 4 episodes of a show for free. You know, try it before you buy it. I think that's a fair model. It's like, well, I don't want to invest in a 52-episode series, you know, if I don't know what this is. Give me a taste of it. And sometimes the story doesn't kick in on episode 1. You got to give it a few episodes. So you see that. Funimation has tons of shows you can watch and try for free. And then if you want more, you can get them officially downloaded, or you can get, you know, the hard copy versions, and mini Blu-rays are now available now.
Yeah. I can't afford a Blu-ray. I had to get the Broly trilogy on regular DVD because I can't afford Blu-ray. You know, everything's blue nowadays. Bluetooth, Blu-ray, Blue People. That's an Avatar joke, but that's totally irrelevant. Now, another thing, I know outside of hobbies, you've also appeared in a lot of non-anime things, a lot of fan-made stuff. Like one is, I got a question is, what was it like to work on the fan space series There Will Be Brawl?
It was pretty awesome. I loved getting to play Wario. It's something I didn't even have to try out for. I'm friends with Matt, the director, and he asked me on the streets of Shanghai, 2 years ago, or a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's like, I've got this idea for a Nintendo Super Smash Brothers Brawl universe sort of dark parody, and I think you'd make a good Wario. You want to do that? And say, oh yeah, that sounds great. So that was the genesis of that, and I got to try my.
Kyle, you're cutting in and out here, man.
I've always wanted to get into more on-camera stuff, but I'm noticing a distinct difference. You got to memorize your lines when you're on stage or in front of a camera. In voiceover, your script's always in front of you. Yay, perks! But I welcome the challenge, and I hope to do some more on-camera stuff. Wario was awesome. The Brawl series, that had a huge fan base. The final episode had extras in it because it was just epic fight scene. One guy flew all the way from Australia on his own dime just to be in it.
I saw your Wario. I was like, ugh, what's wrong with Kyle? He looks like he has cancer or something. I hope he doesn't sit in this because he's just, ugh. I mean, it was dark.
Good makeup.
Oh yeah, it was dark, and I did like the Little Mac. You know, they need to give some more Little Mac. I liked Punch Out for the Wii. It was pretty good. I mean, but yeah, I guess okay. We have a few more questions, and because we know you're a very busy man, so we'll let you be on your way in a little bit. Here's a question from fan, and of course I wouldn't expect not to ask this question. What is your favorite voice you have done?
Favorite voice would probably be, in recent years, Kamina, for sure, because he's such a great character. Very inspirational, awesome role model to follow. And he gets chicks, right? The chicks love him. You gotta love that.
And if that's not enough, he's got the Bret Hart sunglasses. So that's. I like those sunglasses. Bandai, I hope you're listening because we want Kamina's sunglasses mass produced. Because I think
you know what they thought about. They did think about putting a replica of the glasses in the box set for the first DVD, but it would have been an odd-shaped package. And if it's odd-shaped, retailers won't carry it.
Well, you could have just done like a big rectangle shape, like a big rectangular cube shaped, It could have worked.
I suppose, but they want to get X number of units on the shelf and all that. It becomes a logic thing. And so we got a drill instead, which is better than nothing.
I'd rather have glasses than a drill, Well, you know what they say, drill, baby, drill. Sarah Palin joke. Oh, we are political. We don't really care about politics on here. All right, Kyle, I want to try one more thing before you go. I've got these sound effects on here, and this is going to be iffy. I want to see if you would maybe try to do a Gohan Kamehameha wave with these sound effects, and I'll most likely clean it up in the podcast. So let me let me just turn it up a little bit, and we'll okay. When you're ready, let's give it a shot.
Technical difficulties have occurred with the hosts of this podcast. Please do not adjust your broadband connection. Thank you.
Whoa! Holy crap! He took out Zimmer! He took out Zimmer Hall! Holy Oh! How am I going to explain that to the president? He's going to ask, what the hell happened to Zimmer? I'm going to be like, Gohan did it. Gohan, run! Oh, this is bad. This is not good. Kyle, thank you so much. Now, I'm getting hoarse here. Thank you so much for being on the Dennis Daniels Show. It has been just a laugh and a half here. Check out KyleHebert.com, thebigballbroadcast.com. It's on iTunes too, right?
Yep.
Support the anime industry. Don't download your anime. Buy it like everybody else. Kyle, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll have you back on the show real soon with John. He would love it.
Thank you, man.
All right. We'll see y'all later on down the road. Good night, everybody.